magic of the Cybernet Space Cube, the computer-enhanced podcast of the future. Transformers Slag Podcast.
How we all doing? This free comic book day, people have been paying attention. This is the Transformers Slag Podcast Saturday Night Live mainstream main event. I am tired. It has been a long day. How we all doing? This is the Transformers Slag Podcast. My name's Proto Man. If you're not familiar, this is the face that you hear Monday to Friday, but it's the voice because I am tired and I don't really know what I'm saying right now. I've been up since 6 a.m. It was free comic book day today. One of my favorite days out of the year. Very exciting day. I picked up a lot of stuff today. So usually you don't see me picking up a lot of stuff week to week, but I got a lot of stuff today that I'll show you guys that I picked up. A lot of cool little things here and there. We'll talk about a whole bunch of Transformer news. It was a busy week, very busy week for Transformer news. So we'll jump into that too. Nice to see all the patrons and YouTube members popping in. What do we got here? We got Horned Owl. We got Rodimus Power. We got Retro Cabal. What's up, David? We got Abraham. We got Mike Rosen. Mike Rosen, I believe, asked a super chat question too. We have Ashnud. We got Princeton Phalanx 59. We got Oscar. And more people are rolling in. I'll catch all you guys in a moment. Where's Mike's question here? Will Rise of the Beast Wheeljack get retooled into a Dreadbot? I don't know about that. I think they're going to kind of just do something else with that van. Maybe they'll give you a really off-the-wall Wheeljack or something. Kind of have that van connection. Or dare I say, imagine they take that Rise of the Beast Wheeljack and they do the Energon tow line from that. Wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be a really nutty one. Very left field. Give a brand new head sculpt. Skids as Aaron Archer originally intended. That whole throwback. We got Mr. Bumblebot popping in. Sheriff Lasif. Timmy K. Poindexter. X-Squire. A lot of people popping in. T-Formers 2002 from Patreon. So it was a busy week in Transformers. A lot of stuff was popping from the factories that here and there. All kinds of different stuff. This was all of these images literally were live last time we did the live stream, but they were all available just on, at the time, Baidu and Weibo, two Chinese message boards. I don't really like to talk about news until it's kind of on the Western side of things, and then it could be that. It's my thing is I don't like to break the news unless it's all of a sudden now on the time, on like the Times Square, you know? So when it's on the big websites and it's all over the place, then I'll talk about it. I don't want to be the one who reveals the sensitive information behind the scenes. But when it's out there, it's out there. When the genie is out of the bottle, you can't put it back in the bottle. Brought to you by Naya. No, I'm just joking. But good stuff. Good stuff. So, there's a lot of crazy stuff we're going to talk about today. And, of course, Free Comic Book Day, a lot of cool things. If you did not go out for Free Comic Book Day, just a reminder, in the future, first Saturday of every May, every year, is Free Comic Book Day. Go out there, support your local comic book store and, cartoon creators. Get some free comic books, buy some books. It's a nice thing. A lot of times the stores do crazy deals. I went to two of my favorite comic book stores in all of Montreal. I've been doing this for Free Comic Day for me has been like a minimum of 15-year tradition at this point. What's up, JR Mina? And it's been pretty cool. So let's jump into some Transformer news. Enough talk. We'll cover all that laters. But let's jump into it. So the first thing we're going to cover, of course, and again, it's all of these leaks. And again, if you're interested and you want to give your opinion on this stuff, again, hit that super chat button and I will read it out. Or if you have any questions or comments in the world of the robots in disguise. So first up, we got this Voyager class Junkion. So this one is very interesting because we've had the modulator gimmick. It started all the way back when we had those weaponizers with Siege, and then we had them as the Micromaster bases where you can mix and match pieces, and then we got the fossilizers, and all of those that we got up to that point have always been something that was deluxe class. That's always how it was. We went into now Junkions, and they're still deluxe class. This is the first time we're getting a modulator that's going to be a Voyager class price point. Still will have the standard pegs, but will be a Voyager class price point. And the question really is, who is this character? Who is this person? Now, don't let the colors fool you. This could be just a straight up test shot kind of situation. They take colors, they're testing stuff out. There's been so many different test shots I've seen throughout the years that the colors do not match the character. It's just what's going on hanky panky in the factory. We use the term the lunchtime special, meaning during their lunch break, they do some wacky stuff and they use some weird colors. So a lot of crazy stuff going on here, but I mean, it looks cool. There's a lot of interesting detail. The rumor is that this is going to be a Junkion character. It's going to transform into some kind of dump truck. The rumors are all going around that's potentially an animated Wreck-Gar, maybe Wreckage, maybe a brand new character completely that is a dump truck character, much like they did with some of the other past characters with the Junkions. They've been making new characters. Good excuses to do that. Maybe they want to make a buff Voyager class female Junkion character. Who knows? Who knows? But it's definitely going to be something. And, obviously there's been people that are saying, oh, maybe it's that War Dawn thing. Maybe it's animated Junkion. Wreck-Gar. Maybe it's some weird homage to Armada, Devastator, aka, Scavenger. Maybe it's something that could be retooled down the line into Strika. There's a lot of cool stuff going on there, but we'll see. We will see. Abraham says, "In those colors makes you think of long haul." Well, it's a lot. There's a lot of obviously you get that whole Constructicon connection, but again, the colors I think won't tell us too much. I think it's more about the veneering, the sculpting, the detail, the surface. I think that's going to tell us a lot more in the long run. But again, it doesn't have its head. It seems to be a common occurrence that's been going on with some of these. No head, no head. Giggity. But we'll see what happens. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let me know who you think this might be, but we will see. And speaking of no heads, here's another one. We also have the Miner Megatron. A whole bunch of these showed up also from the factory. No heads at all. The arms, excuse me, not the arms, the fists tucked in on this one. And yeah, this is a pretty cool one. Alex Milne, one of his first major gigs with IDW was Megatron Origin. Fantastic book, really good book in all honesty. Um, and just one of those like must reads from the IDW era. There's some books from IDW you could skip, but that's definitely not one of them. Looks really good. And again, the whole like conversation that's happening is, the head sculpt is absent, the hands are tucked in. There's rumors that maybe, they'll take that Siege Megatron head that was from the Generation Selects one. That was the Miner Megatron head that we got all those years ago. It was practically one of the very first Generation Select figures we ever got, which was really crazy. It was one of the very first, and only now we are seeing Miner Megatron on that head sculpt. Geez, Siege was how many years ago? It's kind of crazy when you think about it. The rumor is also they might take that sword accessory and turn it into a drill, maybe an axe pick, kind of keeping that Miner Cybertronian origins, story with that. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. I think that, this is one of the more cooler repaints. The question is this something that's going to be a store exclusive? Is it going to be a Generation Selects exclusive? Is this going to be a mainline thing? Maybe just a straight up mainline kind of idea. Who knows? But it is something that is very fascinating. And again, when you look at the original Alex Milne design all those years ago, and we're talking like, geez, 2007, 2008, we're talking many years ago. This design was done long before the Siege toy was made. There's a lot of similarities, which is kind of funny when you look at it. It's funny how it works out in the long run, but when you think about it, who knows? Maybe all those years ago with John Warden when he was working on Siege, who knows? Maybe he was planning from day one that one day this was going to be Miner Megatron in some kind of repaint or retool. Years later, John Warden's no longer with the Transformer brand, but the ideas continue to bounce around. So let me know what you think. Pretty cool otherwise. I dig it. I dig it. This is definitely going to be something I'm going to try to get my hands on for sure. Looks really good. Now let's talk about the RED stuff. I know some people don't care too much for it. Some people love it, but some people just are kind of like hot and cold. And we got RED Transformers Prime Starscream. I mean, this was one that I always felt already had a pretty amazing toy to begin with, and it's just something where, hey, if you wanna get, one that has the horn painted red, that's probably the big difference. Uh, yeah, you got this option, different interchangeable hands, missile launcher, interchangeable handgun, looks pretty cool. Again, the Transformer Prime designs, some of them couldn't be done in toy form realistically. Knockout being one of those that made sense for the RED line. And then you have some like the Optimus, the Megatron, and Starscream, which I could, they did very good toys. The toys were pretty awesome, the originals. So, and I understand some people can't get those toys today, but I mean, considering what is the MSRP on REDs? It's almost like Voyager class. So you're already starting pretty expensive for something that won't transform. But if you're someone who doesn't transform their stuff and just wants to have it on the shelves, hey, more power to you. But here's another one. I mean, let's talk about the G1 Grimlock one. This one, it's kind of like, we have a lot of G1 Grimlock molds kicking around today, and even more to come through the Toxitron collection. I don't know. Again, this goes back to the same thing I always say. Legendary 7. Hasbro is always going to retread the Legendary 7. It's just it prints money. It always does well. If you're going to have like a CD DVD store that's going to be carrying specific RED characters, they're going to order the one that has Grimlock in it. I remember the dinosaur dude that fought those Constructobots. Yeah, sure, get that. But at the end of the day, for us hardcore fans, I mean, we kind of got our fix with this character through zillions of different iterations that are all transformable. I understand if you're new to the hobby, but even if you're new to the hobby, you're going to get two different opportunities to get that leader class mold. Now, granted, this is not going to be a leader class price point, this RED one. It's going to be more in that Voyager price point. But we're all about transforming in the game. So unless you're like a hardcore Grimlock fan, look, it's the same argument. If there was an RED hot rod, people would ask me, would I get? And I'd be like, yeah, probably, because it's hot rod. But all the other RED toys that have come out up to this point, outside of RC that I got, which was sent to me from a friend, shout out to Mikey and Louie. It's just something where I'm not, I could kind of skip these. The budget could go into a lot of other cooler stuff that we have right now. To pick up some of these RED guys and not get like Metal Hawk or some of those Studio Series Voyager classes that are stellar. I don't know, man. I think these guys are going to be a lot more plentiful and available in the future. And a lot of those transformable Studio Series and Legacy Evolution Voyagers that you might have skipped on to get these instead might be a little more of a problem in the future. So that's just my 2 cents. But hey, if you love them, more power to you. I always felt, again, and I've said this before, RED is a line that should be made for characters that just never got toys or just would have very difficult toys to begin with. Give me Alpha Trion, you know? Give me a 100% super accurate to animation model Alpha Trion. Give me some of those weird characters. Give me Death's Head. Okay, you can't do Death's Head. That's a Marvel thing. All right, put that one aside. Give me Circuit Breaker. Okay, you can't do Circuit Breaker. That's a Marvel thing. Put that aside. But then it's like, give me, I don't know, give me like a Primacron. Give me like some of the really weird stuff that you could do. Like, and I understand it won't sell, but, again, Legendary 7 will sell, Grimlock will sell, an Optimus will sell, Starscream will sell. You're making a Primacron for Proto Man, get ready to shell form forever. But it's just, to me, those are the kind of things that would have interested me more. And that's why I'm kind of someone who doesn't engage with the RED line like I would have maybe, if there was other stuff. But again, that's my 2 cents. Let me know what you think. What's up, Andy Davis? And let's jump into the next one. And that's Bludgeon. At least that's what we think it is. I mean, if you saw my individual segment on it, kind of looks like Botanica. That's another one, Latif. Yeah, for sure. Botanica, where's my Botanica? Come on, guys. Come on. I still stand by it. I still stand that. By not having Botanica in some small shape or form with BotBots, making her even the face of the brand was a complete misstep, in my opinion. But that's just me. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Um, here we got here. Here we got this one. Man, this is some good stuff. This is some good stuff because it's totally out of left field and it's us totally having to do all the guessing because of a sword, you know? Because of like, oh hey, what's going on here? Like, this is straight up Tarn. The colors, we don't know what that could be. We don't know the colors, we don't know any of that, but it's something where he has a sword and he transforms into a tank. So it's got to be Bludgeon, right? Who else can it be? Who else can it be? It's got to be Bludgeon. And the more you look at it, the more you look at the fine details, the double barrel cannon, the side stuff. Again, go back and watch my individual segment on it. You'll see how much I break it down and compare it to, let's say, the Alex Milne design. Alex Milne designed Tarn. Alex Milne designed the IDW Bludgeon. So there's a lot of connections there. There's a lot of that stuff going on. This is clearly going to have a Bludgeon head sculpt on it. It's such a shame that there isn't more retooling to it that I was hoping for. But when you also see stuff like this, where it's a mild retool of a more kind of, I don't want to say lower tier character because I love Bludgeon to death, but in terms of like the mainstream, kind of more of a lower tier character, uh, I could just see them going, hey, this is going to be a store exclusive, and that'll be that, and it'll be pretty cool. I got to see that head sculpt. I got to see the head sculpt. I got to see the paint deco on it, and then we'll definitely make that decision. Yet, how are they going to paint the sword? Is the sword just going to be, molded in one color? We don't know. I mean, again, this goes again, like I was saying before. Don't look at these colors because these colors are it's a test shot. I mean, look, one of the treads is a different color. One of the blasters on the back of his back is a different color. It's a classic example of test shots where they're just messing with everything and trying to find out what's what. So, uh, let's jump into the next one otherwise, because I don't know. There's not much I could really say with this one until we get that head sculpt. Until we could get that head sculpt, we do not know what's happening with that. So, yeah, let's go into the next one, which is Studio Series stuff that we got to see. So we have Studio Series 103 Rise of the Beast Voyager class Rhinox. It's the very first time we are seeing in as clear as this image could be. Let me tell you, people who take photos, sometimes I wonder. This is about as clear as we're going to get of a robot mode officially of Rhinox now, because the main line that we saw, we know how main line is. It doesn't clearly represent how those animation models are supposed to look. It's a suggestion with a little bit of a different flavor. So it's just crazy what's going on. It's absolutely crazy. It's kind of nuts when we really think about it. I mean, we got like a trailer where we barely saw the robot mode in that. It was blurry. We had a little bit, just a little bit of that blurry image there of I forget I forget what it was for. I think it was like a football thing where they were showing the transformations there and stuff. And at least now we have a shot of the robot mode. It looks not bad. I mean, I've kind of settled with myself of how these movie designs are, and there has to be a certain kind of color pattern to them because it's like, okay, well, they weren't going to go with heavy golds and greens with Rhinox because they want to like kind of keep it, that the Maximals have a more washed out, worn out, ancient look to them because they've been on Earth for so long. So that's why Primal and Cheetor and Air Razor and Rhinox all have these very dark browns and dirty colors and stuff like that. What's up, Aaron? So I could understand why they did that, but I like again the detail though. I mean, if you look at Toy Rhinox, he had a very samurai kind of look to him with the cod piece and the armor and even then the head sculpt. A little bit of Native American to him also in the head sculpt with the animation model through Mainframe Entertainment. So it's something where I like that they kind of kept the spirit of that stuff here with the robot mode. The hammer is just them going, well, Air Razor has swords, Cheetor kind of has like a melee weapon, Optimus Primal kind of has a melee weapon. All these guys got to have some kind of melee weapon. If all of a sudden Rhinox pulls out two chain guns and starts wailing away at the Terracons, as much as I would love that, it just doesn't, I guess, keep with the synergy of all the other Maximals that we've gotten up to this point. So again, if you want chain guns for your Rhinox, just go out and get the Battle Masters. Buy 2 of them. They're on the shelves right now. Get some Rhino on Rhino action going, and then you'll have 2 chain guns for your Rhinox. But I think he looks great. Looks really good. And again, go check out my individual segment where I talk about this because we really break down the differences between the main line with this one, the sculpting detail, what we've seen thus far of all the other stuff. So we'll see what happens. We will see. It's pretty cool. Hopefully, we'll get some nicer images. I'm pretty sure because this one's an inbox stuff. This comes from the distributor here in Longueuil, Quebec, near Montreal. So these will probably be showing up any moment now in some nice photo shoots. It'll look really cool. And he comes with the Peruvian, I always have problems saying it, Peruvian jungle discovery background, which whatever that means for the movie when we see it in just a couple weeks. And speaking of another studio series, how about some gamer ones? We have Studio Series Gamer Edition '04 Megatron War for Cybertron. This is a really cool one. Aaron Archer actually worked on the original all those years ago. So we got the High Moon Studio design here, Voyager class, looking absolutely fantastic. Now, because it's a Voyager class, you could put a mace with it. You got the budget for it. So that looks really cool. I dig it. I think it looks fantastic. Again, anyone that was able to be around during that era, 2010, 2011, 2012, when those games were brand new, they were hitting the shelves, the online was bumping, easily the best Transformer game of all time. And what a time to be a Transformer fan. This game came out, I remember, I think I've told this story before on the live stream, but I'll tell it again for people who haven't heard it. This game came out the same weekend as BotCon Disney. And I remember the game came out. I had it pre-ordered from, well, you guys call it GameStop. We had it as EB Games at the time in the store. And I pre-ordered from EB Games, got my bonus, unlockable DLC Shockwave skin or whatever that came with it. I never used it, oddly enough. Um, and I picked up my game, but then I had to go to the airport because I was flying out to BotCon Disney. And before flying out to BotCon Disney, I'm like, you know what? I got a huge flight ahead of me. I think I'm going to pick up the DS version because there was also the War for Cybertron DS version, Autobot and Decepticon. Because I was like, you know what? I'm going to play that on my 3DS on the trip all the way down. Was it my 3DS or DS? I don't remember. Might have been 3DS. Feels like it would have been the 3DS. But either way, and I was gonna just play it on the way down and, unlocked Hot Shot, aka what was called Hot Rod in the games. Unlocked Cliff Jumper, all the other characters. Super amazing game. If you have any way to play it, anyway, pick up the old they're not expensive to pick up the old games. You can pick them up for pretty cheap. Get them on a PlayStation. You can probably pick up a PlayStation for 3 for nothing now or an Xbox 360, but those ones are more prone to getting the red ring of death. So I would probably suggest getting a PS3, but an Xbox 360 probably would be cheaper. But and then you play these games; they're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Obviously, the online you have to jump through some hoops to get that working through small private servers. But what a fantastic experience! And getting a upgrade to the original figure that we got in 2010 from that budding Generations line that was getting repackaged for Transformers. Just wow. Just wow. So cool. I mean, not much really more I could say. The only other thing I could really say is the background that's included with this one is the Secure the Station background. That was the first campaign from the Decepticon campaign when you're using Megatron and you got to get to the Dark Energon and stuff. You got to secure the security clearance codes and everything. And so it's pretty much that scene from that background. I love it. I'm super excited. I literally in my collection, I have a whole section that's just dedicated to all the War for Cybertron molds. It's pretty much what my Titan class is. Because, when you have a Titan class display, what do you put at their feet? Pretty much. It's all that wasted space. So I put all the War for Cybertron, Fall of Cybertron toys, even like the UK pre-order exclusives. There was a lot of weird stuff that came from that little piece of history. But what a great figure. I'm super excited about this one. I know people have already picked up the Optimus, the Bumblebee, and the Barricade, but man, there's a lot more coming. There's rumors that we're going to be getting also a Cliff Jumper based off of the DS version, and we're going to be getting a Starscream apparently. And you know what that opens up to? So Seekers. So we'll see what's happening with that, but pretty hype, pretty hype. Love what I'm seeing with this. Really good. Let's jump into we're not done yet. We still got more. It keeps going, guys. It keeps going. Let's go with the pre-orders that are going to be dropping any moment now from Japan, and we're talking the BWVS03 Beast Wars again, Cheetor and Waspinator quickest showdown 2-pack, taking that Kingdom Cheetor, that Netflix Cheetor, taking that Kingdom Waspinator, slathering a whole bunch of budget of paint that Japan is really good at doing, making it as show accurate as humanly possible with the within the limitations of those molds. Although the limitations on the Waspinator are pretty good, and just giving us the best that could be. Being a throwback to the old 1997 two-pack that Cheetor and Waspinator were in is a nice extra touch. There's tons of great photos of these online. Again, I did an individual segment showing the differences between them. I never owned a Netflix Cheetor. Some people were telling me that the stock images that were used for the Netflix Cheetor were the images that I were using because I wanted to have some really nice images. No one took any nice photos of Netflix Cheetor apparently because I guess no one cared. I mean, let's be honest. I'm going to be honest, guys. I think the best Beast Wars Cheetor toy ever made is the masterpiece, and nothing will ever come close to that. It is. I bought two of those the very first day I saw them, and I never looked back since. I'm turning my head and looking at it now. It's just a fantastic mold. So if you want the best Cheetor, go get that one. But if this thing is going to be like $50 for two deluxes with a premium paint scheme, that's what the belief is. I mean, that's MSRP today. Go out right now, go to Walmart, go pick up a deluxe class. It's $24.99, depending on your taxes, depending state to state or province A. Um, you're pretty much paying the same. So to get something that's super premium, delicious, especially the Waspinator's looking good. The Cheetor's looking good too. I can't complain. And it's going to come in a fancy box that throws back to the old Japanese origins of 97. What more could I say? I think it looks great. Let me know what you think. Go check out the individual segment where we try to break it down and let me know what you think. We're not done. We also got Grimlock, Earth Spark Grimlock. This is the first time we are seeing the Earth Spark Grimlock. If you look in the top and the middle there, kind of tiny, but that was the entire run of the deluxe class price point for the Earth Spark figures with the Build-A-Figure Mandroid. We saw the Bumblebee all those months ago. We saw the Megatron. We saw the Twitch, we saw the Optimus, we saw the Shockwave. All of those that I just mentioned are popping up in retail in different shapes or form. Some of those earlier ones are oddly enough on clearance right now, but that's a whole other conversation. But the point is that we've seen all of those, but we have not seen the Grimlock or the Nightshade yet. And man, it's looking pretty good. It's looking pretty good, especially this Grimlock. I like how it looks. Again, there's similar tooling to that of the Cyberverse one. Some people were pointing out. I don't really see it too much, but I understand where they're getting at because there's a similar kind of silhouette. But I think also because it's Grimlock. I mean, there's only so many times you could reinvent the wheel, and they just kind of use the same idea over and over. I mean, look, his dino legs make the feet, his arms, the look where his dino head is being stored. And then look at every Grimlock that's ever been made in the past 40 years. So they're just kind of sticking with it. Look, double barrel gun. All he's missing is a sword. And we could go back to the conversation that we just had. Let's just scroll all the way down here of another Grimlock. Oh, I can't really pull that up yet. Of another Grimlock. Like we're gonna have a little bit of deja vu here. Maybe we don't have the kibble so much of the dino arms on the side. Uh, but I guess it's there too. It's just it's so much more tiny when you look at it. But it is there. So I think it looks cool. Again, it's if you want to complete your Mandroid, you got to pick them up anyways. So all that's missing is Nightshade now. That's the last character that we're going to be learning about. Hopefully, we'll see it at some point. I don't want. Everyone knows who Nightshade turns into, right? Like, I mean, we're not spoiling at this point, are we? Are we? Because I want to say the alt mode, but I mean, I don't know. Did anyone watch Earthspark? Gives me a moment to take a sip of water too. Hmm. Mike Rosen says he could use the leg as a club. Damn right he could. That's when I first saw it. I was like, that reminds me of anyone saw what was it called, The Christmas Story, the kid with the BB gun. Aiden Tolbert with the super chat for $2. Thank you, Aiden. Alden, excuse me. Do you think Rise of the Beast will have a post-credit? Of course, in the modern world we live in today, as cinema with our big budget movies, how would it not? Especially considering they're saying they want to make this kind of like a trilogy of movies. If that is true, then yeah, of course, there's gonna be a post-credit something for sure. Um, but yeah, I mean, I can't talk too much about the movie, unfortunately. I have to be so careful with my words with that because I'm always like, what do people know now? What do people know? What has Stephen Caple Jr. said publicly now? But yeah, cool Grimlock. I dig it. Again, gonna pick him up so I can complete my Mandroid. Got to do that. So got to pick up some Grim, and not to mention, got some more Grim here, but this is a lot more expensive Grim. So these images, there's a whole bunch of them online, all of them technical images of the Robo-Sen auto-transforming Grimlock. Does not surprise me. Again, what did we just talk about? Legendary 7, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Grimlock. And then, of course, the others are Starscream, Megatron, Soundwave, and Devastator. But so now they're doing Grimlock. He's going to auto transform. He's going to come with a flame blast accessory, which no doubt you put on the dino face and will light up with some LEDs. He has a dual blasting gun, which use some translucent plastic on there, which again, I'm pretty sure will probably have some LEDs in there. He comes with his sword, which doesn't look like there's LEDs in that one, but I could be wrong. Maybe there's one in there. He has his crown, which I'm curious if he transforms, will that be crushed in the auto transformation? And of course, if you look carefully with this little blurb, he is going to have some lines and stuff where it's like, you could tell Grimlock to fight, coronation, where he's probably going to say, me, Grimlock King, fire breathing, probably going to spit fire, and that's going to be with the translucent, save Cybertron. So, me, Grimlock kick butt, probably. But so auto transforming, he's another one of those where due to how his design works, it works for a automatic transformation. Because when you think about it, when he's in dino mode, he's going to use his robot arms to push himself up to make that, robot mode. And just in the same way, when we watch the auto transforming Optimus, he pushes himself up using his arms. So it kind of just works out in the end. I'm kind of curious how this is going to look in transformation. I do want to see it, but I can imagine it. It looks cool. But like all the other RoboSense stuff, it's auto transforming. It's a design I own a million times over. It's also going to probably be $1,000. And if I'm going to be spending $1,000 on Transformers, what's up, Larry? If I'm going to be spending $1,000 on Transformers, there's a million other things I rather spend it on just in the Transformer world alone, let alone all the other stuff I collect. Like there's a lot of lucky draws that are like $400 that I rather own. Hey, here's a lucky draw, RC, Chrome. Oh, there's only like 60 made. Yeah, I'd rather spend the $500 on that and then spend another 500 on another lucky draw instead of a RoboSend. But that's just my personal. Look, if you dig these RoboSend stuff, more power to you. But this goes back to it again. It's Grimlock. You have so many options that won't break the bank. And stuff like this, while I get it, it's a gimmick, it's fun. There's an engineering part of it as a mechanic that I appreciate and I like. But man, 1,000, bones, 1,000 American. I'm Canadian. That's like $7,000 million. So that's a pricey one. If it was like $300, then I could be like, all right, I could see that. I could see that. $300. You know what? I could see that. That makes sense. Like the upper echelon of masterpiece is $300. We get into that kind of category. Like the most expensive masterpiece toys when they were MSRP were like $300. So to get this, and I get it. Look, you're gonna tell me, yeah, all the parts, the pieces, the engineering, the moving gears, the plastics, the metals, the motors, the LEDs, all that stuff. Yeah, if you weigh it out, I get it. I could see that $1,000 too. But just me to you and me and you talking to your wallet, there's so many other things you could buy instead. Just in my opinion, there's just so many. So that's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think on it. I mean, again, But that's it for the news. We had a lot. We had 45 minutes just on the news. Imagine 45 minutes just on it. Crazy stuff. What do we have here? We have some green YouTube member questions. We got Oscar Proto. Is Netflix ever going to get a legacy cartoon? I honestly think the Netflix relationship with Hasbro might be winding down, and I think Hasbro is going to start to want to more import stuff onto Paramount. Paramount and Hasbro, they talked about it not too long ago. They want to build that relationship more and put more content onto there. And I would not be surprised if we do get another toy-based, like, that kind of cartoon, like what we got with the War for Cybertron trilogy stuff. I'm pretty sure it's going to be something that we'll see on Paramount. But I know that Legacy right now, there's no plans for a cartoon or Legacy Evolution or Legacy Uni, whatever that'll be. So we'll see what happens with that. I am so dehydrated too. Such a long day, which we'll get into in a moment after sponsorship, because that's what keeps this floated. Symbiote Studios, wearing my Starscream pin today and my Snake Eyes shirt. Was rocking the Snake Eyes shirt today. Plush pin and t-shirts, the official Plush pins and t-shirts of Transformers. Good stuff going on. Again, if you want Transformer plush pins or t-shirts, symbiotestudios.com, the official sponsor of Transformer Slag podcast. I actually do creative consulting with them all the time to make sure the product's good. So a purchase with them helps me out too. Well, maybe not financially, but it helps me out. Helps me out, lets me know that I'm doing a half decent job with them. And of course, the rest, all the others. We have the reveals that will be coming up. Literally, been doing this back and forth for the past couple of days now. For the last couple of items, everything's going to be ready before June, 100%. Hopefully, I'll have some samples. I don't know if the Symbiote crew is in the chat right now, but I might. Hopefully, I'll get some samples that I'll have on display in the glass cases at TFCon. I know that last TFCon, the Grimlock was shown off. So we had that on display we had that early on display because that was a late 2022 product, and we showed it off in July, and then and then afterwards, after it was done, we sold it. We sold it to a fan that wanted it. So pretty good stuff. I think I saw a few people with Symbiote Studio stuff at TFCon Toronto. Good stuff. What a great support from all the fans and everything. He got a super chat from Nicholas Barr for $2. Nicholas, ask a question or comment, brother. Don't just throw me money. Say something too. I'll gladly answer it. But yeah, symbiotestudios.com. Check them out, man. And of course, also all the other stuff. The Power Rangers, the My Little Pony. There's brand new My Little Pony stuff coming out for you bronies. It's all out there. So be sure to check that out. The Power Ranger pins. I love those Power Ranger pins. I got all of them. I've always been a Black Ranger guy. Zach, he's always been my boy. So that's the one I want. We got to get a Dragon Shield Zach pin. That'd be the best. That'd be the best. Anytime I ever see a Dragon Shield Black Ranger figure, I always pick it up. I think they only did like 3 to my knowledge in total. They did like a little minifig one. They did a Build-A-Figure one, and they did the recent one in the 2-pack through the Lightning Collection. Love that. And of course, all the GI Joe stuff. Cobra Commander with his little wolf. Gotta love Timber. And then, of course, you got, excuse me, not Cobra Commander, Snake Eyes with Timber and Cobra Commander on his own. And, of course, the Snake Eyes shirt that I'm rocking today with Timber. He's over here. Over there. Oh, I'm not gonna damage my beautiful shirt. But yeah, check it out. SymbioteStudios.com, all the good stuff. Love those guys. Thank you, Symbiote Studios, for being a sponsor. Always good. Very loyal dudes. And, of course, we got And Seats. And Seats. There's a lot of stuff going on with them. They've been busy working on it with all the different stuff. Oop, wrong slide. Again, check out And Seats. Get a Transformer chair for your computer needs. I know a lot of people now don't sit in front of a computer like I do. But if you do, if you need a gaming chair, they make premium gaming chairs with the robots of disguise on it. You get lower lumbar support, magnetic clasp attachments, neck support, all kinds of cool stuff. If you're a tall guy like me or a big guy like some other people, this is recommended for you. I mean, go back and watch the early live streams before I got this chair. I didn't even have anything that was even close to neck support, and I was getting like gaming chairs from like Costco and Walmart. So if you're a tall dude like me or a guy who's a little larger, these are also Very comfortable chairs. And if you use promo code ProtoMan, you get 15% off. And the seats. Thank you for sponsoring us. And we appreciate all the good stuff. And the last one I'm going to mention also is Hasbro Pulse. Hasbro Pulse recently contacted me, and they will be sending me a gigantic uh, promo box, whatever thing for Rise of the Beast. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be getting that in the next couple of days, hopefully. So Hasbro sending how it's officially done, by the way. That's how they actually sell toys, not like the sketchy people that claim that they get free stuff. So that's going to be coming. So thank you, Hasbro Pulse, again for all the love and support too that you've given the pod. And of course, last but not least, we can't forget about Mr. Archer. Again, Aaron Archer. If you caught his live stream yesterday on the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, he was talking about a little bit about Jetfire. Aaron, you didn't talk that much about Jetfire. I got to be honest with you. I was kind of expecting more Jetfire talk, but he did talk about repaints. He talked about selling in with movie toy brands. There was a good talk also about what was the other thing that you talked about that was really good? I made a note of. And you were talking about Masamune Shiro and how he influenced you. That was some cool stuff. I love Masamune Shiro. My first Masamune Shiro stuff was Tank Police. That was like one of the very first VHS animes I ever rented back in the day. That and Rama One Half. So good stuff. With Bonaparte, Tank Police, feel the power that we got. But check it out, archermonster.com/shop. Pick up Aaron Archer's very soon to be sold out and retired Art of Transforming Robots Volume 1 Black and White Edition. Come TFCon Toronto, Volume 2 will debut. And Volume 1 might not exist anymore. So if you don't want to have something missing, you want to have both volumes, got Volume 1 and Volume 2, pick it up now before it's too late. $20 for Volume 1. Add an extra $15. He will sketch anything you want inside it, personalize it just for you. So you have the art book and a little sketch of your favorite robot in disguise, or maybe you want the Major from I don't know, Aaron. If Aaron, you want to draw some Ghost in the Shell or Appleseed, that'd be pretty cool. If someone recommends you to do that, that'd be pretty awesome. But again, check it out, yo. Archermonster.com/shop. Get yourself a nice art book. And of course, the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. Next segment is going to be coming soon. Don't want to spoil what it is, but it's going to be a good one. A lot of new information, new pictures, new facts. And it's the robots in the skies. That's all I'll say. But great stuff coming in the future with the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. If you have not watched already, a lot of good stuff out there. Check it out. Again, go on YouTube, type the Toy Armada with Aaron Archer, and listen to me and the man who pretty much carried the Transformer brand from 2000 to, what was it, 2015? Carried it for a while. So, and all the great stories, but not just Transformers, even the stuff before 2000, all the 1997 adventures of Batman and Aliens and Predator and Jurassic Park and all kinds of cool stuff. Total Justice. How could you forget Total Justice? And all that other stuff. Check it out. The Toy Armada with Aaron Archer. And that's it for the sponsors. Again, thank you, Hasbro Pulse. We're going to be rocking soon again, too. I actually have to make a phone call, too, to somebody. Other business with Hasbro. But anyways, so it was Free Comic Book Day today. Like I said before, the best day out of the week. Easily. Oh, we got a super chat question. I apologize. Ed E Dogs 2011. I don't know how you want to pronounce that. Are we getting mini cons for Legacy Armada figures? Pretty much 100% yes. Sam Smith, go back and watch the Hasbro Pulse stream where Sam Smith was messing with the Armada Megatron Legacy figure. And look for the scene where it's Sam and B-Mac. B-Mac's the one with the beard, and I think he was wearing a G.I. Joe shirt at the time, I want to say. B-Mac, correct me if I'm wrong. And they were talking back and forth, and at one point Sam's like, oh, Megatron has all these ports on him because we're going to have other guys that are going to attach to him later. And then B-Mac was like, oh, you're spoiling a little something there. So pretty much it sounds like we're going to be getting mini cons at some point. How they're going to do it, 2-packs, pack-ins, we will see. We will see. Something's definitely coming. But thank you for the super chat, eDogs 20111. Ibrahim with the YouTube member super chat question. Proto, do you think Dorvac on Blu-ray is worth getting? Yes, Dorvac is awesome. If you want to own a piece of Transformers history, has good intro too. Dorvac has a really good intro. That very like 80s rock and roll like anime. I always say that Japan was always like like 5 to 10 years behind in what was hip in music. So when you watch like 80s anime, you're listening to like 1970s rock and roll, like that. Where like if you like Dorvac, what year did Dorvac come out? 87? No, Dorvac came out in 85, I want to say, or 84. So like, around that time, like Bon Jovi was like killing it. So like when you think of like what was heavy rock in 1984 for us in 85, and then you look at like what Japan thought hard rock was, and it's like late 70s rock, which is still great. I mean, you're talking like stuff like Kiss even. But Dorvac has a great soundtrack, great designs, great story. I don't want to spoil the story. There's a little twist at the end, uh, typical real robot mecha of that era, where always a lot of stuff goes down in the last couple of episodes. I would suggest it, especially a Blu-ray, considering Japan is really anal when it comes to releasing Blu-rays here in America of their anime. You got to jump through all kinds of hoops. I mean, we're still waiting for Blu-rays of so much of other stuff. But yeah, definitely, I would go for it. And if it's affordable, where was that through? That's through Right Stuff. Which company's doing that? Kind of curious, because I recently picked up the Machine Robo one that they did. So, Prince of Phalanx 59. What business would be that with Hasbro? Can't talk about it. You'll see soon. You'll see soon. That's NDA stuff, unfortunately. JR Mina, hey Proto, have you heard about Hasbro Watsy sending so the Pinkerton story? So yeah, a lot of people were asking me about this, about what happened with that. So here's the thing that I'll give with this. The Pinkerton thing happened within WotC. So that's Wizards of the Coast. So you have to kind of like give you like, so you have Hasbro. Hasbro is the main company. And then you have like companies within Hasbro. And when Hasbro many years ago bought Wizards of the Coast, they bought that. And I know this whole story because let's just say this is something that's been going on for a while. Okay. I probably wouldn't have recommended getting the Pinkertons. And for people who don't know what those are, it's a long story. Just Google it. I'm pretty sure I'm not, I don't want to have to be the one that has to explain to you about a whole bunch of union busting crazy people. But, you know, but the point is that, and they don't exist in Canada. So I don't have to fear them or something. But the point is that they're a group of roughs, and the long story story was is an individual bought some packs of Magic cards. There was the individual claims it was a mix up, right? Because the pack was like, oh, this is March of the Machines, the latest Magic set, and he got sent March of the Machines aftermath packs, right? It was a mistake from the distributor. That's his story allegedly. Okay, I'm going to believe what he says. Some people are straight up liars, but the way he was talking, it does seem like something that would be a mistake, you know. And if it was stolen from the factories, usually it would be cards directly. He wouldn't have like a sealed box and stuff. That would be more stolen from a distributor, and that's so late down the line. Where like when you look at some of those other guys in the Transformer world that steal toys like straight up from the factories in Vietnam and do the YouTube reviews, that's like step number one. This guy, it's not from the factory, it's not from the packaging plant. It was already final in the distributor weeks, so like not even weeks away, days away from being released and being spoiled. So and WotC freaked out. They sent the Pinkertons to this guy. They asked for the packs back. And I think it wasn't so much to rough the guy up. My belief is because I think I have an example here. I wish I had a good example. I don't have any packs of Magic nearby, but every Magic the Gathering pack has a code on it, and it's a way to track the packs. And I think the Pinkertons, they wanted the pack so they could find out which distributor sold those items, because then they could find out which distributor is releasing items early. Because I think that's their belief, or at least give a warning or something. But the fact that they had to get hired goons Hired goons, goons, hired goons. Simpsons reference for all three people that know what I'm talking about. To hire hired goons, I think that's silly. I think they should have contacted the individual respectfully through any kind of social media. This guy has a social media presence that got affected by this. So they could have contacted through him and just said, "Hey man, like we noticed that you had some packs early. Could you at least show us, what the packs look like?" Maybe they were worried that he would try to destroy the if he says he doesn't have it or he tries to destroy it, then already some shady stuff was probably going on. It's a tough one. It's people were always asking me about this because they were comparing it to what's going on with crime versus crime and some of the other ones, let's put it that way. You know, those guys are straight up unapologetic stealing stuff. 100%. Like just no, like, yeah, I'm stealing it. What are you gonna do about it? I'm in the UK being a loser. What are you gonna do about it, Hasbro? Like he doesn't care. He doesn't care. And that's different. Like this guy, it's kind of like a gray area. Like if you're gonna send the Pinkerton, send it to Crime versus Crime. He legitimately is stealing stuff. Like this guy it was a gray area. This was something where it's it was the equivalent as if Crime versus Crime was getting the toys mint in box early from a warehouse and from a Walmart toy distributor, which that's not as bad because at that point so much we already know about the product. It's, I'm not going to really worry too much. But when you're getting stuff fresh off the floor, it hasn't even been officially revealed yet. You ruined all of these big reveals, especially when they're store exclusives. When you ruin a store exclusive reveal, and they had some kind of contractual agreement where it's like, hey man, like we were going to do a Walmart collector con, we were going to reveal this item, it was going to be a big deal. We made a contractual agreement with Hasbro to get official product, and you just stole it from the factory and took away all that thunder, bro, what an idiot. But he's lucky. He's lucky he's in the UK with his finger up his butt all the time. So he's lucky. He's lucky. That's it. But things may change. Let's put it that way. Things may change. But that's my take on the Pinkerton. I think that the Magic story, and I follow Magic the Gathering very deeply, very, very deeply, and I've been paying attention to that. And people have been asking me about it. I wanted to I don't know if you guys are familiar with the professor. He's a guy in the Magic the Gathering community. I wanted to do a video with him talking about like the differences and what's going on with because people were thinking it was a Hasbro thing, but it wasn't really a Hasbro thing. It was more of a Wizards of the Coast thing. That was kind of a reaction within their company where, trust me, if Hasbro was willing to do that stuff, they would have done that stuff a while ago with a lot of other guys, let alone some pieces of cardboard that literally was going to be revealed and not revealed, like officially out there to be purchased a week later. Like it's kind of a different animal. I'm probably losing some people with the story. They're like, "What are you talking about with Magic cards?" Long story short, some cards got out early, and then some hired goons went to get the cards back. Let's put it that way. Crazier stuff has happened though. So, do we have any other questions? If we have any super chat questions, if not, let's get into the stuff that I got. Yeah, Tolarian Community College. I've talked with Brian quite a few times, and Rudy. I've talked with Rudy too. Rudy wanted to buy some Lego from me. He's been hunting for Lego, but that's a whole other story. Uh, I know all those guys in that world. We all us YouTube people, we're all nepotistic. We all stick together and have conversations. What a world. So let's get into stuff. So it was Free Comic Book Day today. Free Comic Book Day is the one day out of the year where comic book stores, they show off all their brand new comic books. They Wednesday's new comic book day, then they like show off all the brand new books. They also have a whole bunch of free books that are specifically made for that day by the different publishers. If you're a part of the Transformer community, Matt Moylan, who made the Little Formers comic books all those years ago, he works with Udon Comics. He works with the Street Fighter books. Matt Moylan wrote one of those free comic book day books. If you saw my Twitter, I posted it, the Street Fighter 6 book. So Matt wrote that one. Really good book to pick it up. I'm going to show all the cool stuff. Don't worry. But what's also cool is it's a way to get people to go back into the comic book stores, pick up some comic books. While you're there picking up free comic books, maybe pick up a book or two, get a few from the dollar bin, get a couple back issues, support the community, support the local comic book stores. And what they do too every year, and every comic book store owner I've ever talked to, they always say the same thing. Free comic book day, we give away a ton of free books, but it's the biggest day of the year for us to make money. And it's something where they literally put a whole bunch of stuff for sale in the store. And what a day to go. I go all the time anyways to pick up my books from my pull bin, but I went to my two guys, Cosmic in Montreal and Mark the Comic Hunter. Mark the Comic Hunter, one of the best comic book stores on the planet, but that's a whole other conversation. Picked up a ton of stuff, ton of stuff. I'm gonna have to go through this in waves. First thing that I got that I didn't pick up from Mark the Comic Hunter. This is the only thing that came in the mail. Mark Morales, if his CVC was legit, he'd have some of the packaging. Of course, that's rule number one. Show me the packaging. That's what I always say. But he can't. And again, let me just reach over and show you guys. And let's say I'm gonna like entertain you. Okay, yeah, Hasbro sent you a sent you a sample that somehow didn't have the packaging, which they never do, by the way. Aaron Archer, who worked worked on Transformers, designed those toys. Hey, Aaron, how many toys did Hasbro send you that you designed? Oh, that's right. Okay, he said that in his live stream yesterday. When they do send you stuff, it's in the package and it has an NDA. This is my NDA from many years ago. All reviews based on these figures, all this information contained within communication, and then at the time, this was the embargo date. Dear Transformer fans, when they send you, the man is a clinical liar. He's a clinical liar. Don't listen to him. I know you guys like watching stuff early, but you're supporting a thief. And speaking of stopping crime, here's one of the first figures I got today. This came in the mail. This is Huntress, the Mafix one from the Birds of Prey. I love Huntress from Gail Simone's run of Birds of Prey and all the different versions of Huntress throughout the years. So got this awesome one here that came in the mail. Didn't open it yet, but super hyped about that. That was the only non-free comic book day purchase. Before we get into the comic books, let's get into the toys that I got because I went to Free Comic Book Day. So much of the toys in the store were on sale. Mark the Comic Hunter had a deal. All toys in the store 40% off. How am I going to say no to that? I had to control myself. I was buying things I didn't think I was going to be buying. So we're going to start with Ultraman Great, aka Ultraman, aka Ultraman done by DreamWorks Toys, not Steven Spielberg DreamWorks Toys. I have this one already. I had the exact same one as a kid, but let's just say it was well loved as a kid. This was molded in red and then it was all silver paint on it. So the paint on my one that I had as a kid is finished, like the knuckles on mine are like all red and everything, not from blood, but from just the paint wearing out. So I got a nice minty one, also known as Ultraman Towards the Future. So pretty cool. Not much for articulation, kind of like that. But dig it. Love this. To have a nice minty one. How much was this? $8 Canadian. So then you take 40% off, and then it's Canadian. So that's about, let's say $3 American for Ultraman Great from 1992 from DreamWorks Toys. Looking sick. That's the first one. Let me just put him safe somewhere. I don't want to scratch the paint. They had a whole bunch of HeroClix. I'm not a big HeroClix guy, but once in a while when they do certain characters that appeal to me. So they had the X-Men animated series HeroClix. So I picked up all the X-Men animated series related ones. I was kind of hoping to get some of the others, but they didn't have them. These were $1 Canadian each. So what, 60 cents? you know. And then of course I got 40% off. I'm not even gonna bother to crunch numbers on that. So if it was 40% off from $1, so they were already 60 cents Canadian. So then 60 cents Canadian in American, you're talking like what, 30 cents American, maybe like 35 cents. So really good stuff there. We got some super chats. I apologize if I'm missing any questions. I'll try not to miss them. Prince and Phalanx 59 with the super chat. So with Hasbro Pulse available in the UK and Europe, does this give Hasbro more legal rights over those countries to go after thieves? The problem is chances are the Hasbro Pulse in the UK and Europe is going to be similar to what they had in the past, where it's like it's a good distributor pretty much, because it's the same thing. We had a Hasbro Pulse Canadian connection, and it's all it is a distributor. It's just a way to have a warehouse that has that inventory that could easily get to those locals and not have to charge crazy shipping. It has nothing to do with control and or power, unfortunately. And the UK is sometimes really bad with that. No offense, but they kind of let stuff that happens in one country and not in another when it comes to that. That's a whole other ballgame when it comes to legality and stolen product. Collector Prime, hi Transformers fans. I'm finally able to join the live cast a bit late. Hope you all having a great Saturday. Thank you. I'm having a great Saturday too. I am dehydrated today. Dehydrated. So I woke up at 6 a.m. to do this because Free Comic Book Day, you got to show up at 8 a.m. and you have to start lining up for the 10 a.m. opening date. So me and my buddy Julian, we went super early. And we line up super early, and then we go to one store, we hit that store, we pick up stuff, and then we go to the other store, and then we spend like a good 2 hours there because Mark the Comic Hunter is boss. But yeah, what else did we get? What else? Oh, we got a little mini mate here. Anyone remember mini mates? This one's a Silver Surfer one. I just like Norrin Rad. I think Norrin Rad is one of the coolest characters in all comic books. Jack Kirby, Silver Surfer. Love it. Nice little Norrin Rad there. Again, this one, what was this? This was like $3, I think this one was. So $3 Canadian minus 40%, and then it's Canadian. So let's say I probably $2 American for Norrin Rad. We got some carded. These are the Marvel Legends, but like the classic style. These were original MSRP, if I remember correctly, $14.99. These were $5 Canadian. $5. $5. It's like $3 American for a nice Todd McFarlane style Venom and a nice. Let's go with this is more of a Mark Silvestri kind of Wolverine, but not really. This was new art. This one's definitely styled off of Todd's Venom. It's more of a Mark Silvestri Wolverine, a little bit. But yeah, got those two. Brown costume Wolvie, nice stuff. Again, $3. $3. How can you say no? How can you say no? Now we're gonna go into the deep ones. So this is a sealed. This. I have tons of these. This is a sealed Sunico Gaz PVC Applause Super Mario. This was one of the very first Super Mario toys in the West. I always try to find. I have a ton of these loose. I never find them sealed really. See Sunico, the gas company. You could find the old commercial on TV back in the day. But yeah, so I try to find these sealed. I have this one, Luigi and Princess sealed. I'm trying to track down the others. They did 8 of them in total. I think the toughest one to find sealed is the Link from Legend of Zelda. But so they had this. And again, I love this store because they don't really know toys. So when they get toys, they just like, $5, $4, $3, $5 Canadian, 40% off. I mean, this thing on eBay is probably like, it's probably not even on eBay. You can find them loose on eBay, but sealed. Good find. Here's a weird one. Who could tell me what this is? Who could tell me what this is? If for anyone, I want to know who knows this. I'm going to put this one up on the screen first. Who is that? And then we'll see. That one's a little bit of a special one for me. Let me just look at some. We got some YouTube member questions. Hey Proto from JR Mina. Hey Proto, since you're showing great finds, any interesting finds purchases from the grocery store? No, I'm doing my grocery shopping tomorrow because today was all toys. Today was toys and comics. I again woke up at 6 a.m., got there at 8 a.m. with my buddy Julian. Anyone who's been to TFCon, Julian's kind of like a guy that we hang out with in Montreal. Good. People know the Burger King, but what's the name of him? What is the name? It's the Burger King Kids Club, but who is that? What's the name of that character? Very good. Shows how old some of you people are. Because that was from the 90s. That's a deep cut one there. Very good. But yeah, JR Mina like woke up at 6 a.m., got there for 8, was at Cosmics. I was there for like maybe like half an hour, picked up a couple of books, went to Mark the Comic Hunter around like 10, 11 o'clock, and then was there for like 2 hours because I love that store to death. It's the best comic book store in the world. Um, and then just did a whole bunch of shopping, hit up a bunch of other stores, picked up a bunch of other comics, but those two were the big ones. So yeah, so this is Kidvid, very good. Who said it? It was my Brandon West guessed it. Boo Cat and Mike Rosen, Kidvid. So I've been slowly trying to collect all the Burger King Kids Club kids. The first one I ever had as a kid was Jaws, which was the black one, the black guy. My sister had what was the girl, the tomboy with the baseball glove, and then I got Wheels, and I've been trying to track down a Kidvid that was in great condition. $1. It was part of their like McDonald's toys bins that they always have. This was just sitting in there in minty condition for $1 Canadian, 40% off, plus the fact that it's Canadian, so it costs absolutely nothing. Very happy to get that. This one comes from my buddy Julian because when we met up, he hooked me up with this. This came from Winners, which is like a closeout chain. So this is $20 Canadian, so about like $14 American. It's Mario Odyssey. I love Mario Odyssey. It's such an amazing game, and these are the ones that has all the different hat designs and stuff for Mario Odyssey, Bullet Mario, and just good stuff. I always love to have these. I believe this was a Target exclusive, this one. So pretty cool, but they ended up on clearance. And then let's get to the comics because there's some Transformer stuff there. A lot of cool stuff. Boomer, there you go. That's it. Whopper Whopper. I worked at Burger King many years ago. That's not the reason why I wanted these. I just think because they're really cool. Sometimes you get like think about it, this was a fast food toy, and it has 5 points of articulation. Really good paint. Look, paint on the back and everything. This was a fast food toy. You would never see fast food toys like this today. They just do not have the budget for that. But it was a different world back then. Action figures were a whole different game. So to get like action figures from a fast food joint of their mascots, not even like banking on like Batman or Superman or Spider-Man or the X-Men or Transformers, banking on their own mascots to make high-end action figures and for them to sell and be out there. Fantastic. So free comic book day. A lot of good stuff. I'm just going to quickly go through it all. Not going to bore you too much because not everyone's into the books. I picked up almost everything because I always like to have an open mind. Grumpy Cat, sure. Free comic book day, Grumpy Cat. We got free comic book day, Overstreet Guide. This talks about collecting comic books. This is someone, if you want to get into comic books, you pick up this one and it just talks about collecting comic books and how to take care of them in a comic book format. Like, hey, how do I collect a comic book? Where do I go to buy comic books? So that's another one. Free comic book day, Avengers, number one. Free comic book day. Here's a cool one. Madball and the Garbage Pail Kids talk about gross of the 80s. Anyone who knows Madballs and Garbage Pail Kids. Madball versus Garbage Pail Kids. Free comic book day. Awesome one. Free comic book day. Super Ninja Turtles based off of the 87 Fred Wolf cartoon. Again, these all came out today free. You could have went and gotten them. Maybe some of your local comic book stores still have them. Maybe it's a free comic book weekend in your area. Go check out Free Comic Book. I'm not sponsored by this. Go check out freecomicbookday.com. Go to their store locator. Find a comic book store that might still have these. You could probably still go tomorrow. This is the Matt Moylan one. Free Comic Book Day, Street Fighter 6, written by Matt Moylan. Good friend of mine. Always at TFCon together. He wrote this one, Street Fighter 6. Go check that out. This is a really good one. I actually read this one today. I Am Stan. It's the history of Stan Lee and him in his early days in Marvel. But you know what's great about this book? Here's the Transformer connection. Tom Sicoli drew it. Tom Sicoli was the one behind the GoBot books with IDW. Remember the Transformer GoBot books and some of the Transformer versus G.I. Joe GoBot books? So Tom Sicoli drew this. So the history of Stan Lee, drawn by Tom Sicoli, the crazy guy behind the GoBot stuff. Another one here, Godzilla, really cool one. I also read this one today also because I like my kaiju stuff. Good Godzilla book. Free comic book day Spider-Man. This one was a limited one. Stores will only have 100 copies of these, so I don't know if they would still have it, but this was the Spider-Man Venom one. Very interesting book too. Yeah, Mad Balls, yo. Free comic book day Animal Crossing with a Kirby story. Excuse me, over here. And this one's done in manga format in black and white, so pretty cool for you Nintendo people. Free comic book day Nightmare Before Christmas. This one's cool because this is actually a prequel story. This is a prequel story to Nightmare Before Christmas, how Jack became the Pumpkin King and why Oogie Boogie resents him to this day. So if you watch the original Nightmare Before Christmas, a classic movie, now you'll know. Free comic book day Animal Castle. I don't know, just figured I'd give it a read. Sentient animals. I'm a dog and cat person. I love my animals, so should be pretty cool. Is that it for the free comic books? I want to just be sure. Yeah. And then the last one. So if you're Canadian, today and tomorrow is free comic book day weekend at Toys R Us. Toys R Us has an exclusive free comic book. If you go to your Toys R Us right now in Canada, you get a free Black Adam comic book. Really nice, glossy pages, everything from DC. So today and tomorrow, go to your local Toys R Us, say, hey, do you have a Black Adam comic book for free? And you got a free one from that too. Tell them Proto sent you. Actually, they don't know who I am, but that's the point. The point is that's out there too. Let's get into the cool books I got that I actually bought because look, all of this was free. Whole bunch of free books. Thank you again, Carsey too. But more specifically, Mark the Comic Hunter and Comics with an X, Cosmic with an X. All the free books, but you got to give money back. And aside from all those toys that I bought, I'm more of a dog person, to be honest. But I have cats and dogs. Love them both. They're the best. Anyone who saw my live stream from my parents' would know. So got a lot of books, a lot of Wolverine books and stuff that I was just missing. But here's some of the more cool ones. Anyone remember Stone Protectors? Anyone? We're the Stone Protectors. Now you know. We're trying to make money with troll dolls because trolls are weird stuff. What, kids aren't buying trolls? Oh, my line got canceled after 1 week and the show didn't even finish its run of 13 episodes. So Stone Protectors. I love weird 90s comic books based off of short toy lines. That's kind of my weird fetish. So Stone Protectors issues 1 and 2. There's a third issue. They didn't have it, but I mean, 225. And I think there was 10% off on old books. So, and it's 225 Canadian. Might as well be a dollar bin book. Cringe McCringle Evening Proto starting my new job this week, which means I'll be able to watch the live streams from now on. Congratulations on a new job, brother. Congratulations. The Marvel Action Hour. This is a really good one. This was based off of the old Spider-Man cartoon, issue number 1 of the Marvel Action Hour. Love that. Great cartoon. So I want to pick that. Number 1 of Robotech Defenders. Again, going for the old Robotech stuff. Love my mecha. This was a DC book back in the day when Robotech was doing stuff with DC. Issue number 1. This one's an obscure one. Street Fighter, but not what you think. This predates the Street Fighter that you know. This is actually based off the old Kung Fu movies. So Street Fighter number 1. We got more Wolverine here. Death of Wolverine. This is the Wolverines. Savage Wolverine. You could tell that I kind of like Wolverine a little bit. Max Wolverine. And now here let's go into. Here's the. Here's we're gonna get into the Transformers stuff. One last one. King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. Again, short 90s cartoon and toy line. This is issue number 2. They did not have issue number 1. Gonna have to track that down. It's part of a 3-part series. Arthur and the Knights of Justice, working evil down, right through the storm with the Knights of the Table Round. King Arthur and the Knights of Justice. That was a Mattel line using He-Man molds back in the day. Good stuff. Where are we at? Just want to make sure I'm not missing any questions. I apologize. Anyone, if we are missing questions. Sony Chiba movies. Now someone knows what they're talking about. Abraham, you know. Now you know. Now you know. So, um, Transformers #2. Now you're probably saying, Proto, don't you have this already? Yes, I do. But I recently started collecting the Marvel books of Transformers that are the direct market ones. So I started looking at my collection, I started realizing that all my Transformer comics, most of them that I got throughout the years of the Marvel run, were direct market through comic book stores. So when you would see an old 80s comic and it has, I wish I had an example. Let me find one. Oh, here we go. Here's this old Wolverine book. So you have this Spider-Man logo. That means it was direct market, meaning like, oh, hey, direct market, like you bought it from a local comic book store. When it has the UPC here, this was newsstand, meaning like you got it from like, a bodega, a newsstand selling newspapers or whatever. These are way more tough to find in good condition because direct market would put it in bags and boards right away. They took care of their comics. They were for comic book collectors. Newsstands, they were just, they were smashed in there with the Archie comics and everything. So I'm starting to collect all the different newsstand ones. Yeah, that's $20 for Transformers #2 in mint condition newsstand edition. But again, 10% off, Canadian. So it's about $14 American, which some people might go, oh, that's still a little pricey for the Transformer book, especially one of the early issues where there were so many of them. Yeah, the John Wolverine books. I know. I know. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. And then these were really good ones. Let me just show you these. So anytime I could get these in decent condition, I try to pick them up. Anytime. These are a little bigger. Any of the UK Transformer comics. So to find these, to find these in decent shape is very tough because these in the UK were sold as magazines, not so much comics, but magazines. And they are so condition sensitive because they were thinner, so they were right away more subjective to dog earing and getting screwed in the corners. The paper quality was more newsprinty, I guess is the best way to put it, which made it more susceptible to ripping. And one common thing that I've seen for years with not just these but any UK Marvel books, um, always the stupid newsstand writing their name on the top, always. So many times I would see like, it'd be like, oh, bodega, blah, 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 like writing their name on the top or something. So, and I don't know if that was for returns to return it back to the companies or stuff, but to find them in decent shape, it's pretty difficult. They had a bunch of different ones and I passed on a bunch of them because I didn't like the condition. Either they were written on or the cover was ripped off or something like that. I bought two of what would have been, no joke. I wonder if Jules in the chat, Julian, but I think there was like 40 different books. I bought two of them, which gives you an idea of how bad some of them were. So I bought the classic It's Christmas, So What Starscream cover for $10 Canadian, which again, with exchange, almost nothing. And issue number 200 with Hot Rod. You have Power Master Optimus Prime, and it's like Hot Rod, RC, and Cup are like, well, it's actually Rodimus, are busting out of his chest alien style. And this one was in pretty decent shape too. It could be better, but I mean, it's still pretty decent compared to what I normally see. These are really tough to get in good shape. Um, so if you ever do see them in pretty decent shape, you just move everything. I want to roll on the comics. Ugh. But if you ever do see them in decent shape, pick them up. You actually have something good going on there. We got a gold super chat, and that's it for the books, by the way. We got a lot of stuff. But hey, congrats to anyone who guessed Kid Vid. I know David Cabal would have guessed it. Um, so we got a gold super chat from Francesco Javier. Thank you for the gold super chat, Francesco. I have no idea what currency that is, but I appreciate the super chat. Flip. I wonder what currency that is. Help me out, Francesco. What is that from? I'm a collector too. I have over 6,800 comics, only DC. Wow, only DC. I probably have over 6,000 too, but not only DC. Whew. So you're really I only buy trade paperbacks. Please recommend me one about Transformers. Uh, well, I'm literally looking at all my Transformer trades right here. Where's a good one to start? Where's a good one? Let me tell you something. If you want to talk something you'll probably easily find if you went to your local comic book store, Transformers Regeneration 1. These are the trades. These were done by IDW, I want to say 5 years ago, but they're still kicking around. Really good book. Simon Furman, really like it a lot. It's a little Rodimus centric, so maybe there's a little bit of a bias there. So that might have something to do with it. Andrew Wildman did a lot of the covers and everything. I think Andrew is a super fantastic, talented artist. Me and Aaron Archer got to meet him at Toronto not too long ago, so that was pretty cool meeting him and getting some art. If you're not familiar with the old Marvel books, read, try to get those old trades that Dreamwave did back in the day, the old Dreamwave comic books. Those are fantastic to start somewhere too. If you could get the IDW reissues of the Marvel stuff, those are a little more, I don't want to say censored because they had to get rid of some of the Marvel related stuff in it. But if you could get some of those, like those are really good also, but it's all good. CLP, Canadians love poutine. That's probably right. You know what? No joke. I almost bought poutine today. I was actually thinking about it. It crossed my mind, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do food shopping tomorrow. I'll think about it then. But then I'm probably going to get something Asian maybe. But yeah, I would recommend that. That's a really good one. Trying to think of what's like, really good trades for comic stuff. Because the thing is, Transformer books are so cheap. Like you pick up a trade, no joke. If you pick up a trade and it has like 6 issues in it, you might pay $20 for that trade, right? 6 issues, $20. Then you go to the same book that you're buying that trade from and you buy the singles of the same issues from the dollar bin, you might pay $6, $7. So sometimes you might be better off buying the singles. I know that sounds silly. Some comic book stores, they'll sell complete runs. Like they'll sell like, oh, here's this complete run of a comic, 6 issues, 12 issues. They might have complete runs of some of the Transformer books. And when you count how much you're paying for, they might end up being cheaper than buying the trade paperbacks because they want to get rid of the singles. They don't want to deal with the back issues. So always keep that in mind too, a lot of times, because people always automatically look to pick up trades because they're easier to pick up. It's on Amazon, they're in bookstores, but sometimes it's cheaper to pick up the singles also. Both are good. I mean, just food for thought. I hope that helps a little bit. Where are we at here? I don't want to miss anything. JR Mina, I like the Throne of Primes display loose behind you, Proto. Oh yeah, that's from Mikey and Louie right over there. He's just chilling. I love the cardboard. I actually on my Instagram I had Rodimus with it at first because Rodimus is the real king. He's chilling back there. Do you also have all the primes inserted in the disc? Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, I just kind of left the primes like in the display. I just left like how it was from San Diego Comic Con. Orlando Chavez with the YouTube member question super chat. The Miner Megatron from the Siege mold got me thinking. Outside of Seekers and Starscream, what are some of the most used longest Transformer molds? Seeker outside of the Seeker jets. Well, we have to obviously talk about that Lambor mold, the Lamborghini mold of Sideswipe from Siege. That thing is seeing so much. Let's talk about. Oh my goodness. I just turned my head and I looked at my own collection and it just dawned on me. The original Classics Hot Rod. Like it was called Classics Rodimus. Original Classics Hot Rod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 repaints. 12 different versions. Jeez, how is that thing not butter? 13 technically if you count the Filipino one that has the rub sign. Well, Southeast Asian release, as they called it. That came in a 2-pack, the Brothers of Cybertron 2-pack. I got it from the Philippines, so I call it the Filipino version. So that's another one. I mean, let's not count Creo because that's kind of its own thing. Creo is all those molds are shared all over the place. There's got to be some Aaron Archer designs. There's got to be a couple mini cons that must have like 6 different repaints. There's got to be some Aaron Archer stuff there, for sure. Yeah, I'm looking at a few mini cons like the mold that made Sparkplug, Optimus Prime's mini con, the yellow Lamborghini. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that I have on display. And then I know that he has a 10th one that came with a Japanese exclusive. So there's at least 10 there, unless I'm forgetting something. There must be another. I know I'm forgetting something, but there's 10 right there. You know, there's a lot. There's a lot. Look, it's the name of the game. It's how they save their money in a lot of ways. Um, but yeah, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But it's been a crazy day. It's been a crazy day. It was really fun. I mean, I it's one of my most favorite days out of the year. I love Free Comic Book Day, number one, because I hang out with my buddies and we hit all the comic stores. And when you do Free Comic Book Day, you don't just kind of like go into the store, buy stuff, and leave. You really like go around the store, look at all the sales, look at all the cool stuff, flip through all the long boxes. All the comic book stores bring out all their long boxes of dollar bin and stuff that they want to get rid of, and you really find some good books. Because to me, like, I don't mind picking up, like, again, like a weird Free Comic Book Day book, and that'll be like a bedside read tonight. Like, I'm gonna have a huge stack of books, and I'm gonna read a whole bunch of things tonight. Learn some new things, learn about some new books and everything. I picked up a whole bunch of random Wolverine books that I never got to read because so much was coming out in the early 2000s. I just couldn't keep up. I mean, in the early 2000s, between Wolverine Origins and Ultimates and all of those other books, and then everything that was going on with Dreamwave at the time and Transformers, it's just to keep up was really tough. Media Max Proto, are you finally going to admit that the new movies are a full reboot because of differently continuity with Unicron? Stay tuned. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Go watch it. You'll see. They are so Francesco with the 5,500 super chat question. They are Chilean pesos. Uh, 815 or $1. Well, thank you. Anyways, you didn't have to super chat the question, brother. I was just kind of curious what. So it's pesos from Chile. So you're from Chile. That's cool. That's awesome stuff. I always like to know because whenever I see unique currencies, I like to know where people are messaging from. Because we have people from Germany, we have people from the UK, we have people from Chile, we have JR Mina who's from the Philippines. Like, it's always cool to see people from around the world when they tune into the live stream, because I mean, I try to do it at an hour that kind of works for everybody, but it's kind of tough sometimes, you know. I sometimes I wonder in the future if I did it on Friday, would it be easier for people? If I did it on Sunday, I don't know. It's one thing, the community tab in the podcast, like, we have the community tab on the main channel. One day I'm going to ask people, I'm going to be like, what day would you guys like? What would be the best day for like a live stream? Some people love Saturdays, but it's just something I would, I made the Saturday decision based out of COVID, going like, oh, I'm here on Saturdays now because I'm not going out on Saturdays. So I'm going to do it on Saturdays. And then 3 years later, we're still here, doing it. So we will see. We will see. Keep me posted on what you think, people. Cringe McCringle with the $5 super chat. Protoman, I have a question regarding the Hasbro Mattel crossover. How expansive do you think the Transformers Hot Wheels will be? I want Bayverse and G1. Well, I would imagine, I mean, let's look at it this way. Look what Wicked Cool Toys did with the Micro Machines license with Transformers that they did. They first did Michael Bayverse stuff, and now they're slowly dabbling into Generation 1. Look at Jada Toys that also did die-cast for Transformers. They did some Bayverse stuff and slowly dabbling into Generation 1. So I imagine, and maybe people might not like this answer, I imagine they probably will do movie stuff first, which kind of bothers me because we already had like RPMs. I'm looking at all my RPMs, like literally like all 60 of them that line the entire wall. Um, like, I think they might do like movie stuff first, but then again, that'd be tough with Rise of the Beast. I got a dinosaur, excuse me, like a die-cast gorilla or a die-cast car. Imagine like Cheetor with wheels. I think there was a Hot Wheels that had like, it was like a Panther with wheels. I remember I had one as a kid. Um, but I imagine they might do more movie stuff because that's more mainstream. And then they'll throw in the odd like, and I hope they don't do it as like a chase, like their treasure hunts as they're called, Hot Wheels. I hope they don't do like, okay, we're gonna do, the case is gonna be five, like movie verse die casts, and then the sixth one is gonna be a treasure hunt chase, and it's gonna be a G1 character, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, let's not do that. I would prefer, just my own bias, I would prefer if it was Generation 1, primarily because, again, if you want by 1/64 scale movie designs, they made that 10 years ago with the RPMs and Speed Stars. So, and those are like ridiculously cheap and plentiful and out there, so they're not tough to get. But I would really like it if they did more G1. But the thing with now, and you have to understand, this is a very important thing you got to consider. If you do Generation 1, now you're diving into Japanese car designs, some unique old American car designs. Those are licenses that then Hot Wheels is going to have to get, because when you do the Micro Machine ones of, let's say, tracks or anything, because they're squished down and kind of vague, you could kind of get away with like, hey, it's colored like tracks, but maybe it's not a Corvette. Maybe it's, and Wicked Cool Toys could be like, oh, it's not a Corvette. It's, it's some other thing. But when you're talking 1/64 scale diecast, now you're talking like there's no arguments. Like, oh, that's definitely a Lamborghini Countach. You can't argue it. Hot Wheels Hot Rod. Don't have that yet. Would be cool though. Would be cool. We have where's the 1/64 scale one I have here? I got from Mikey and Louie. Kept it on my desk. Oh no, I put it away already. Oh, nice little cool one. I have the over there, that one. That's a cool one too. Good stuff. I want to make sure I didn't miss any other questions. My dad gave me some Kool-Aid and Pizza Hut X-Men comics today. The X-Men comics from Pizza Hut. Had some good stuff. That was back in the day, the exclusive comics from Pizza Hut. What is it? What was it? Tuesday is kids' night at Pizza Hut. Kids eat free. Good times. Princeton Phalanx 59. Here are some collection ideas. Star Wars Micro Galaxy series vehicles from Jazzware are really good and very affordable. They are very nice. They remind me of the old what were they called there? The Action Fleet collection. Those are really cool. Really like those a lot. Way back. I love the Action Fleet stuff. I still have my obviously everyone had to have a Slave 1 Boba Fett little carbonite Han Solo. I had a TIE Interceptor, which if people don't know, if you buy the TIE Interceptor Action Fleet and you take the heads off of one of the pilots, it's George Lucas's face under it. They actually did that as a little Easter egg. Mr. Bumblebot Hot Wheels already has such a large, expansive catalog of licenses. I think they'll be easier for them to do a lot of cars. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, no, I agree. But also, every time they do it, I'm pretty sure they have to do some kind of, some kind of royalty. So we'll see. We'll see. Do they have a Dome Zero to do Hot Rod? Dome Zero for Hot Rod. Lamborghini Countaches. Then you go into the Lancias for Wheeljack. You got all the Datsuns. Yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure they'll be fine. But it's just, I think that the more modern designs that they probably already have available to them, which are available also because the Michael Bay movies, and of course the more recent movies with Bumblebee, and then of course Rise of the Beast, are going to have more modern cars. Oh, the Rise of the Beast, it's 90s vehicles. That's true too. 90s cars, 80s cars. A lot of cool stuff. We only have 15 minutes left. What is going on? Did we really burn through everything today? Jeez. Did I show everything that I picked up today? I think I did. The only other thing I picked up, I didn't bring it upstairs, was I picked up some of those World's Smallest Transformers. But now there's going to be better ones that come with comic books, I was told, so I'm going to try to track those down. Nice little World's Smallest Marvel comics. Really cute stuff. But yeah, good stuff. Otherwise, we got to try to get a few super chats in before the evening is over, and then me and Kidvid are gonna go read some old comic books, and then enjoy the rest of the evening. Princeton Phalanx 59 with the YouTube member question. Proto, do you ever buy anything from Kickstarters? Yes, I did. The very first Kickstarter that I got behind many years ago was Mighty Number 9. Which was from the creator of, one of the creators of Mega Man, Kenji Inafune. That Kickstarter had a lot of drama behind it. We waited about 3 years before we saw anything. But I don't regret it. I mean, I love Mega Man, and the game was pretty good. I mean, I know some people weren't fans of it, but I mean, I've been playing Mega Man games my whole life, and it felt like a new edition of another Mega Man game. even though they got $4 million from that Kickstarter. The second Kickstarter I was part of was also Mega Man related. Now that I think about it, it was the Mega Man board game. I think that was Indiegogo, but same idea. The Mega Man board game was part of that. Helped, wanted to have my name on that and stuff because I love Mega Man. What else was I part of that was Kickstarters? The Captain Canuck. This is a deep cut. Captain Canuck cartoon series and comic book. They did a Kickstarter for the revival. I was part of that. That one kind of sucked because they sent you everything in waves, and they sent me my Captain Canuck mug in a padded envelope. You can imagine how that turned out. So they had to send me a second one. So I have a broken Captain Canuck mug somewhere in my house that I use like as a pen holder now in the kitchen. Um, I think that was it. There's no other Kickstarters, but I've never had problems with Kickstarters really. Uh, they've always, you just got to be the one thing with Kickstarters, you got to be patient. You know, when the Kickstarter ends, you might not see anything for a year, maybe 2 years. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's just how it is. So that's I was always fine. But the problem, it's not really about Kickstarter, it's about the individual. Someone might, do a Kickstarter and is completely incompetent, and your mileage may vary. I was lucky that, yeah, Mighty Number Nine did have its drama a little bit, but I think it was worth it in the end. The wait, it was fine. You know, it could have been better, but it was fine. It was a middle of the road Mega Man game, pretty much. And I did, for considering what I paid for and what I got in the end, it didn't make a difference. What's for dinner, Proto? I am probably just gonna have I'm gonna probably make breakfast for dinner. I again woke up really early, didn't get to have a proper breakfast, just had fruits, and then went out the door. Had pizza on the go while I was out there, and then really didn't eat that much when I got home. I'm probably gonna have egg whites, hash browns, maybe put some sausage on the side, glass of orange juice. Just I feel like breakfast I need some kind of heavy protein. Was running around like crazy today, and it was good weather today too here in Canada, so I was very happy with that. What's up, Roman? So that's probably what I'm gonna have for dinner. I'm gonna have that, and then me and Kid Vid are gonna read some comic books. He's gonna be my right now on my bedside next to my bed. I'm gonna have a stack of comics. I have two Godzilla figures next to my bed for some reason, and gonna have Kid Vid. He's gonna come join me. Rock and roll. Burger King Kids Night, where it's fun to be a kid. Uh, Media Max Proto. What is a recent figure do you want so bad that you won't wait for a sale price? Metal Hawk. This probably that was one that I didn't think twice. When they put Metal Hawk out there, I was like, I want a second one. Like, I have it's in the display. I want a second Metal Hawk. I want to have one. Like the fact that we have an amazing Metal Hawk. I know it's a retool of Cyclonus, but it's so good. The fact that we have an amazing Metal Hawk figure is a shock to me. Didn't wait. And Canadian MSRP on Metal Hawk, I'm embarrassed to say what I paid for it. I bought it brand new, off the shelves, $44.97 from Walmart. Canadian. But I couldn't. I was just like, it's metal. It's like Rodimus. There's certain characters in Transformers. It's like, man, I didn't want to wait, but I want to get a second one. Waiting for a sale, nothing yet. So, but I definitely want to get a second one. Just have like a desk former, like certain Transformers that I like them so much, I kind of keep them close by on the desk. You know, Tigatron was more because he was on sale, so I was able to get a bunch of them. So, but I like having certain ones nearby. Of course, my boy, always keep him nearby. You gotta, you gotta. Um, Breakfast all the time. I love having breakfast all the time. Are you kidding me? Like I'm the kind of guy, like if someone wants to have like breakfast at like 3 p.m., I'm down. I love eggs, bacon. Like I don't know, maybe it's a Quebec thing, but I love I'll have eggs, bacon, hash browns, two pieces of toast, baked beans on the side, tomato beans for the win. Some baked beans on the side, hash browns, glass of orange juice. Oh, any day. Any day. Every time I go to like a breakfast joint or something, I went to I had, rest in peace, Derek Wyatt. I went to have breakfast with Derek Wyatt many years ago, and we went to some breakfast joint, and I remember they brought the plate. I remember they brought the plate. They brought the plate to me, and the guy who was serving us, he's like, "Oh, I forgot your toast. I'll be right back." He left, and right away I ate both of my sunny side eggs and my hash browns like right away before. And he came back, and then he looked at my plate, and all he said was like dead stone face. He was like, "Wow, that was fast." He was just like, and then Derek looked down. He's like, "Wait, did they forget your eggs too?" He didn't even notice that I just went, "Oh," you know. Love breakfast. Rest in peace, Derek. Haven't seen, oh my God. Great stories. It's always eating with him. Always eating. That guy, man, he always loved to eat. Every single photo I have with him is in a restaurant. Let me just make sure I didn't miss anything because we have 10 minutes left. My goodness. 10 minutes left. Ashton says, I've done a lot of Kickstarters, mostly games, dice, and action figures. Never did an action figure Kickstarter. It would have been cool to be part of some of those, but never did an action figure Kickstarter. It's been mostly video games or board game stuff. That's, mostly gaming related stuff that has to be, backed. They need the income. Prince of Alex, how's the wife doing? Did she go with you on your free comic book day? Yes, she did. Yes, she did. She picked up what did she pick up? She picked up the Animal Crossing book. She picked up what else did she get? Because I know that she picked up some Batgirl stuff because they all the little action figure stuff. Probably should have brought those down too. She, you know what? Here, I'll bring like oh, no, we're already running out of time. She picked up Kid Robot. It's the people that did the Transformer Kid Robot figures. She picked up 2 Simpsons ones because she really likes Ralph and Milhouse because of how dorky they are. I don't know what does that say about me, you know? But she wanted to get those ones, but they didn't have those, so she picked up Comic Book Guy. What does that say about me? She picked up Comic Book Guy and Police Chief Wiggum, who's Ralph's dad. But they were so cheap because Kid Robots are really expensive. Again, this store, like all the stuff we picked up today, like nothing was more than $5. It was so cheap because they're experts in comic books. Like they're not gonna like get a Hulk 181 and go, oh, that's a $5 book. They know their comic books, but they don't know action figures. When they get loose action figures, they don't really know. And I picked up a lot of stuff from that store throughout the years that were like carded stuff and everything that were like $5, $10 because they just don't know. They just don't know. Like so many times I go in there expecting one day to find like old Star Wars carded stuff that like Aaron Archer worked on that I just want to just pick up, you know? Like Aaron Archer's Jar Jar with the fish. I want to try to track that one down. It would be a good for the table. But yeah, no, she picked up a few things. What else did she get? She got some Catwoman figures. Uh, Geez, what else did she get? I'm trying to remember. We bought so much today. We bought so much stuff today. It was so fun. It was so fun. Why are people so surprised that I have a significant other though? You know, someone like me, of course I'm going to have a significant other. You know, of course. Anyone who's been told all the old TF cons, they've seen her. They know her. They know. They know. They've seen her. Um, where are we at? Where are we at here? Where are we at? I'm trying to find other questions because we got 7 minutes left. Glad I bought the ROB Battle Charger Rhinox. That's a really good looking figure. Rise of the Beasts, I think you mean. I did one for the first time. I back spawned. Oh yeah, the spawn one. You know what? I would have liked to back. That was the one that was like a throwback to the original first Todd McFarlane spawn. Yeah, I would have liked to back that too. Man, I didn't in the end because I guess I just forgot about it. That was a cool one because I love that first run of spawn figures. Even though the quality for them wasn't that great in terms of like plastic quality and stuff, it's still pretty iconic. And like part of me was like, ooh, get an updated version of that. That'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. Link CW says it picked up the Funko Unicron on clearance at GameStop for $28. How much was the original MSRP on that? That was sent to me, that one. How much was that originally? Was that like $40 or something? Funko is dying. Yeah, let me tell you something. At Free Comic Book Day, every store was trying to get rid of their Funko Pops. That's the end of that world. Funko. There's, you know what? Everyone always compares them to Beanie Babies, but the one advantage that Funko has over Beanie Babies is that Beanie Babies weren't based on licensed properties. So at the end of the day, with Funko, like, if you have a Funko Darth Vader, even if Funko is dead, like 5 years later, it's still a Darth Vader figure, even if it's a Funko one. So that's kind of the only advantage that Funko will have that kind of keeps it alive, is that they are based off of licensed properties that have some kind of weight. Where when Beanie Babies died, no one looks back and goes, "Oh, Peanut the elephant, such an iconic character with Maple Bear and, Princess Bear." So if Primus ends up being the next HasLab, how do you think Unicron value will go? I like it that he's only getting more and more expensive as time goes on. Really? Is he getting more expensive? God. I honestly think that if they do Primus, he'll probably be smaller or cheaper. Primarily because, and I stand by it, I don't think Unicron got backed cleanly, I guess is the best way to put it. So I think they're going to try to be more modest, but that's assuming that they do Primus. I think they should. I mean, in a 40th anniversary situation, Primus makes sense. It's Planet Cybertron. It's Primus. Look, Star Saber, we got the companion piece with Deathsaurus. Excuse me, Victory Leo. Unicron, where's our companion piece? So we will see. HasLab Unicron, so bad. I know. I know, guys. You know what? Like, and it sucks too because honestly, as someone who owns one, like, I kind of wish people could get a second run. Like, if they could just put it out at MSRP again. Like, you know what they should do, honestly? I know it might piss off some of the speculators. Oh, hey, I bought this as an investment. And now but I don't care. I don't buy this stuff as investments. I buy it to, like, enjoy it. I wish they would kind of put it out and do like a made for order kind of thing. Cause like, you can barely see them over there. I'm looking at, see, there's that one, and then there's the planet mode one over there, which is using the upgrade kit from Bint Studios. But like, I kind of wish they would put it out and they could do a made for order thing so people could get another opportunity. That way, I feel bad for people. I feel bad for people who weren't able to get on it, because, and I look, there was a lot of things going against that Unicron. It was sketchy. It was really sketchy that it wasn't going to get backed, so, and it was the first HasLab. So people were like, ugh. But I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. There's no way that they could do that Unicron again without getting some kind of backlash, unfortunately. That's the problem. Michael C from Hong Kong. Hey, Hong Kong. Nice. How you doing, Mike? Um, what do you make of the MP line from version 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0? I assume you're referring to characters that do have three versions, which would pretty much be Starscream and Optimus only. Um, evolution of character, evolution of engineers. I believe the first Optimus, Aaron, if you're here, Aaron worked on it too, but it was along with what was his name? Something Imori. Oh my God, I forget his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But essentially, the first Optimus was like a let's try this out. Some die cast, Barbie's 12-inch scale kind of thing. They didn't know that it was going to be an ongoing line with scale and consistency of design. And then by the time you get to MP10, which would be your 2.0, if you will, for Convoy, um, then you get into that whole era of like, oh my God, it's going to bother me now. Like, anyways, I'm surprised I don't remember the name off the top of my head right now. But when you get to 2.0, then by then there was like a scale that they kind of have with all the Autobot cars. And then 3.0 is now we recognize that Masterpiece is for high-end collectors. And we kind of have now seen how the Hot Toys market is and a lot of these more high-end toy items. And, I mean, look, Optimus 20th anniversary MPO1, first version back in the day, $100 item. Optimus 2.0 MP10, $200 item. Optimus 3.0, $350 item. it keeps going up and up. But the complexity, the engineering, the painting, uh, I mean, to me, I like what Masterpiece does though, because their goal is extreme show accuracy with a transformation being available. And as a older collector who is always in pursuit of that, I appreciate it. And newer collectors who can afford it, it's good for them too because they'll release a masterpiece. They'll release a masterpiece, and then they'll use the engineering that they learned from that masterpiece to make more mini masterpieces, as we like to refer to them, retail versions. So, same thing. Look at this guy here. There's the old masterpiece engineering baked into that when they did the Inferno and Grapple. So I wouldn't complain when masterpieces get so expensive because they use that open-ended platform and value to make the most amazing transformer, and then they take that engineering and they figure out a way to squish it down. Kind of like you could barely see him back there. There's old Robot Masters Optimus back in the day. That has a lot of the DNA of the original MPO1 put in there. So they did MPO1, amazing masterpiece product, and then they figured out a way to, you know, into a little Robot Masters product there that people love. And of course, they used it throughout the years for all the other stuff, the transformation and the way that they did the abs and everything, the side, I guess the love handles, we'll call it, all that good stuff. Are we done today? We are done today, guys. So I think we're done with the super chats. I guess we're done with everything, guys. So I guess we'll call it a night tonight. We've gone for 2 hours. Thanks again for everyone who came in today. We peaked at 161 people. I was quite surprised. I guess all the news and everything. Um, and Mike, thank you for joining the mini cons on the YouTube members. And again, if you want to be like Mike or like any of the other talented and beautiful people here, both the YouTube members, which are the green names with the little icons next to them, or if you want to join Patreon, if Patreon's your thing, Patreon also helps the podcast. The link is in the description below. YouTube members, you just hit the join button. Again, guys, thank you again for all the love and support for the podcast. Thank you again to all my sponsors. I always go the other way. Thank you to all the sponsors. Hasbro Pulse, I will be getting that box later in the mail later this week. So, thank you again, Hasbro Pulse, for sending product to support the podcast so I don't have to buy Rise of the Beast products, I guess. Thank God I didn't buy any yet because I knew that stuff was coming. So I don't know what's going to, I hope the box is going to be cool. It's going to be in some big fancy Hasbro box with an NDA letter again. Don't review these until so-and-so. But thank you again, Hasbro Pulse. Thank you again, Symbiote Studios. Again, check them out, symbiotestudios.com. Get yourself a Transformer Plush t-shirt or Bang Bang pin. And thank you again, And Seats. As always, look, you got to get sponsorship, but you better give me the goods, as I always say. Make it worth your while. So many sponsors I reject because it doesn't meet the brand. But again, most importantly, the most important sponsor is you guys for watching all the content, like, commenting, subscribing, all of that good stuff, like they always say. And thanks again for all coming. Thanks for being awesome fans. And I will talk to you again on Monday because Sunday is Proto Man's day off. Thanks for all the love and support. Take care of yourself. Take care of your family. And hey, go out tomorrow. Maybe the comic book stores are still doing free comic book day. Support your local comic book store, which supports local comic book creators and originality and creativity. And that's what makes the world go round in a world of AI and chat GP and all that silliness. Take care. I'm out of here. Bye bye. And I love y'all.